soon see.
Yeah, I quite like recording my races now. I can look at them afterwards.
Yeah, I spent a bit of time just looking after it, because you can undo you sometimes though, in terms of, I think that's maybe one reason why I got penalised the other day from Jesse, is just because he could see that I did drift out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I know Tim might be getting a little bit, I don't know, annoyed for want of a better word with some of the penalties. It's basically just a warning. It's not actually a penalty, is it? It's only a penalty.
Yeah.
It's only a penalty if you get like 5 or 6 of them in a row.
It still feels like you've done something wrong though. But I understand that it's like it doesn't mean anything, but you still feel unfairly accused in a way.
Yeah, I totally understand it. I think it's more just Jesse's kind of approach can kind of rub you the wrong way. That's why I'm glad I've figured him out already, so I don't let it get to me anymore.
Yeah, it's something you've got to learn to live with. I mean, it's his house, his rules. It's kind of...
Exactly.
Yeah, like there's lots of things I wouldn't do in Jesse's league that I'll happily do like in other leagues. Like, are you not allowed to like make people go onto a certain line by moving your lines if you're attacking and stuff? I think he has a rule against that.
How do you mean?
So like if I was a good example would be like turn one at Brazil. So you want to be on the outside. So you have, I feel like that's like a better way to overtake. So you move to the inside to make, if you're attacking, to make the defender go to the inside. So then you can move to the outside. But I think the way Jesse has it is the attacker has to pick their line and then stick to it, and the defender picks the line and sticks to it.
Oh, I didn't realise that. That's unusual. That's an unusual rule.
I haven't read them in ages. It might be just that defender has to stick to it. I'm remembering incorrectly.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the rule. Like I say, that it wouldn't surprise me with Jesse, but that would be an unusual rule. It should be the defender. You got to pick your line before the breaking zone and then stick to it. Is how it should
Yeah.
work. But these different leagues have, depends how their admin is and how experienced they are at racing, or just what their views are generally to how they apply those things.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're getting somewhere.
Don't miss anything?
Not a lot. Not a lot. Just chatting about, I don't know, just recording your own races to review later on. I think that's how we got onto that subject. I think McLovin started doing it. You don't record, do you, Riley?
No, I don't.
I did try streaming, but my computer really, really couldn't handle it.
So you just record locally?
What do you have for a graphics card?
970. Like it would, yeah, I think it'd be okay, but because of VR, it just makes it like impossible to do both.
I think when you come to streaming, it's a lot of it's to do with your CPU cycles as well.
Yeah, I haven't got the best CPU. I've got i5 469K, so it's like okay for most things, but if you want to do anything like that, it probably isn't good enough for it.
So I think I'm trying to remember. I should write this down really in some notes somewhere. But there's quite a few topics I wanted to talk about. One of them was something that Tech posted earlier about doing a multi-event endurance series or something. I'm not exactly sure. It did tell me, and I can't remember anything about it.
Oh yeah. So this is going back quite a while to my Project Cars days. And one of the leagues I was in there, they were very friendly with another league, and they used to every 2 or 3 months run a multi-league event, which was generally a 2.4-hour, 24-hour simulation somewhere. The first one we did was at Le Mans, and so you just drivers from each league will be able to enter, and then you compete against each other basically for the league title, I guess. And it was just good fun. It generates a lot of interest. They always had, I think they had 2 lobbies running. The 30 cars each when we did it. You know, it was one of those events that everybody wanted to do. And I just think it's something we could set up. You know, we've got enough guys here. You know, as Rookie Monsters, you guys have got a nice branding kind of going. I think we could easily do that.
Yeah, what does everyone else think?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I wasn't listening.
Hey, I'm not alone.
Yeah, I was only half listening, if I'm honest. I was reading the things on the forum.
Right, you have a
Yeah.
full concentration now. Everyone stop reading the forum.
Yeah, I'm paying attention and not driving on AMS.
Oh, hold on. The miss is going to be speaking to me in a minute.
Full attention, Simon.
Full attention.
Yeah,
Go
so
on.
basically, I've got 2 or 3 leads that I think would be interested in it. So between me and Simon, we'd contact their admin, pitch the idea to them, and then one of us would host this multi-league event, which would be something like a 2.4-hour, 12 or 24-hour simulation.
So you mean starting your own league hosting series?
Not really. They're kind of just one-off events. You know what I mean? That, you know, a group of leagues just get enough drivers together to kind of do. And I think probably better to just have individual drivers rather than team kind of, you know, durations. And yeah, just an idea that, you know, from Rookie Monsters could kind of host something like that and generate some more buzz.
God, I don't know. That's stretching to new territory, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I say, when I've done it in these other leagues, it's actually pretty straightforward. You know, I mean, say for example, the other 2 or 3 leagues I'm thinking of, they're proper leagues. Like, we're not a league; they're proper leagues. So they run their own servers and stuff already. So one of them would probably host it in terms of setting the server up, and you know, we just help promote it.
Yeah, no, I'm warming to the idea. It's just a case of timelines and what we want to achieve in certain time frames. I'm maybe, I wouldn't say a perfectionist, but I like to have my ducks in a row as much as possible, and I wouldn't want to go into something that I didn't know anything about, and I'm sure you do know about it, so I'll trust you to do it. But anything...
Well, if we're starting a league, like,
no, it's a one-off. Be one-off.
or you know, like a one-off, we just, especially with the endurance or a 24-hour thing, it's like you said, it's really important if you want it to happen again or have people keep that interest up to make sure it goes right the first time.
Yes, I wouldn't do a 24-hour. Definitely not. I would do a simulation, maybe a 2.4-hour, 12-hour simulation or something like that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't do a 24-hour. No way.
What about? I'm just thinking, just talking out loud. I mean, if you're saying it's not right, then fair enough. But I think there was a time between when the RF2 WEC endurance season finishes and it starts. You've got about a 2-month window between, sort of, I think it was sort of December and February.
Mm-hmm.
What about we do something, plan something for then, where we can maybe add an extension to our website that I'm sure will be ready in the next couple of months. just like an information page setting out all the rules, setting out all the times. It'd be a one-off race. There'd be 1 page of rules and 1 page of sign-ups or something along those lines. And then, but I think we need to add a different twist to it. It will either be like you're racing for your country, or I don't know, you racing with countries, racing with maybe 6 tracks in 6 hours or something along those lines. I don't know exactly what, but something different. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just the normal 2.4-hour race.
I like the sound of doing that, like something different, like 6 country, 6 hours thing, or whatever.
I mean, that would be a challenge, wouldn't it?
So that's the kind of thing that the sort of league has been doing now for, I don't know, the past couple of years in Project Cars. Again, they started as a one-off event. They were just going to do it once, and because it's so popular, then they just carried on kind of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think on those timescales?
Oh yeah, whenever I was just throwing it out there. I think, you know, whenever it fits in with whatever we're doing, I don't think it should take any sort of priority. But I think what you'll end up finding is that it generates quite a buzz because across different leagues and starts to elevate rookie monsters as a team.
Yeah. Go
on. With the time frames and everything as well. Like as I finish uni in like a month, and then I've got a month off, which I'll just be revising for, and then 2 weeks of exams, and after that, so like 2.5 months, I have nothing for like 2 months, so I can do like full-time work on the website in that time, so we can get a lot done. I don't know about Jan as well, but yeah.
And to be honest with you, if it's a short enough event, it's only 2 hours or whatever it is, 2.4 hours, it's not going to take that much, setting up. It's just like setting up a regular weekly race for any of these leagues, basically. One of the leagues that I do some racing with still, they do 90-minute races like we do. It's not any more complicated than that.
Yeah, I'm up for it. I'm just don't know enough about it to say X, Y, and Z about it. If you want to run with it and find, now we've got that calendar up and running, find a spare 3 weeks or something that you can do, or however big a window you want to use. But I just think more than 2 weeks either side of one of our endurance races, it might end up being a distraction.
Yeah, for sure. I think it definitely will be a distraction because I think as it gets closer, as happened with these guys, everybody starts to get very competitive. And, we'll want to beat whichever other league and they'll want to beat us. Although, having said that, one of the leagues I'm thinking of discussing it with, they are full of aliens. I mean, they got some drivers in that league that are fucking ridiculously quick. But I just think it'd be fun. I just think it'd be a really fun event.
No, I like the sound of it. With this kind of look at a date then. I'm just trying to think when the last WEC race is, and I think it was mid-December or thereabouts. I think one of Jesse's ones was mid-December, 15th of December. I'm trying to think where I've posted it now. I can't even think.
Yeah, the 8th of December, I think, is the last one.
Let's have a look. So, March, April...
Oh, have you seen, sorry, you can continue, mine's off topic.
I'm going on holiday for 2 weeks.
September's totally free at the moment on our calendar.
Yeah, I did spot there was a big gap in September. Just go... That's possible, isn't it? Yeah, I'm doing a triathlon then. Maybe 29th of September, because that will give us a month. Yeah, there's that after it. The Virginia Raceway.
Yeah, we want a week before that, definitely, to...
I reckon. What about this? Just to pitch it sell it as an idea. I think is Shanghai the last race? I'm trying to remember now. Oh no, that's Jesse's one. So Jesse's one's the 15th of December. I mean, you can't see what I'm looking at, can you?
No, I'm looking at my calendar too. So yeah, I've got the 15th of December for that.
Let me just turn on the screen share.
I was just going to say quickly, RF2 now have a waiting list of teams that are waiting.
Really?
Yeah, they've got 2 teams on it at the moment.
Seems a little bit unfair that we've hogged sprint race then. Sprint second. It's only in the sprint series anyway.
Yeah. There's also another team, I think Racing Simplified are running 6 cars in total, so we're not the only ones.
So if we're looking at this 15th to 16th of December, that is... I just think it'd be quite a good holiday fun thing. In between there, 29th of December. And
29th of December?
Yeah. I know it's a long way off.
Isn't it not a bit close to like New Year's and stuff?
Yeah, but it's... Yeah, I know it's a bit close to New Year's, but a lot of people have the whole week off work in between.
Yeah, I guess.
And I guess people are always looking for a race over Christmas sometimes as well, because there's never much going on, is there, officially?
Yeah, I guess then we can do a Christmas skins as well. Bit of fun.
And I think you can maybe sell it. I just think it should be something totally different, like 6 hours over 6 races, 6 different race events, or something like that. I don't know what exactly, but we can work it out later.
If you wanted
Once
to
you
tie
start
it,
adding more events, then you start to complicate it, I think, in a way, because like just doing a one-off event's really easy. You discuss it with the other leagues. They put a notice up, we put a notice up, we get the interest, and everybody else enters, and that's it. Whereas committing to more races, that then takes on a whole new dimension, I think.
Well, I think
I always say start small is what I'm saying. Start small. Let's see how it goes.
Start easy.
And then, and then if there's enough interest and people are saying, "Man, that was great fun. We should do it again," then we know we're onto something. I'll tell you what. Maybe Studio 397's P1 cars will be out by then, or P3 or whatever they're going to be.
oh yeah,
It's quite possible. Where's the all-day thing? Why can't I find all-day? Oh, there it is.
yeah, that gives us a lot of time to like sort everything out and make sure, because then we'll have like a few months as well to all advertise it and everything.
Yeah, I want to check with you guys first before I mention it to anybody at any other leagues to see what you thought. Because obviously, you've got to see what they think too.
Well, this kind of ties in with what the endurance guys were talking about sponsorship. It's not compulsory at all, and I can see there's a couple of banners that the teams that have contributed have got on their website. I don't know. What do you think about it? How are we going to do it if we are going to do it? I know what my thoughts initially are.
Well, mine initially are. They're not organised enough yet. Those guys, they need to get their themselves a little bit more professional before you put money. Yeah, that's one of my thoughts. As I say, other leagues I've raced at, they're way more organised than these guys.
I want to
It's a bit of
support
a
them,
shame.
but it is like pulling teeth going onto their website. Maybe it's something to do with my modem, because you guys don't seem to have half the problems I have.
No, I don't have any issues with it.
But I think it's something to do with the fact it's an unsecured site and it keeps blocking me.
You tell them we won't donate, but I'll build them a new website. That can be our donation.
Well, Dwee's doing a bit of work for them, isn't he? So, and this is
How many bitcoins they're paying you?
Well, this is Dwee. I was saying earlier when you weren't here. If you're listening now, I don't know. You there, Dwee? No.
Yep, sorry.
There you are. We're just saying that you were doing a little bit of work for them now. So for the endurance guys, you're now an admin or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm the Euro admin.
The Euro admin. It's I'm just.
I love that, by the way.
I'm a little bit concerned that they're going to overload you with work. So you got to know when to say no, and you got to learn. And I'm not sure if that's in your. Every time I've asked you to do something, you've always said yes. So it's I'm concerned that you're going to be overworked by them. So don't take on too much, and don't be afraid to say no. Or even
They haven't actually given me any work except a video and a P2 skin. I sent them like a prototype, like a concept, and they Brett just said it was cool, and that was that. Just ended.
That's cool. That's cool.
Well, the video was very cool. That's for sure.
Yeah, we might have to lick a little bit of that for our intro. It's got a few more Rookie Monster skins on it.
I liked how much we featured in it. That was my favourite part.
It's because I had the replays. Everyone else was like out.
Creator's prerogative, I guess that was.
So in terms of that sponsorship thing, then I'm not going to be forking out any personal money until it's a bit more polished. And I'm trying to think the other way of looking at it. We are contributing something in terms of Dwee's contributing on behalf of the team. So I don't feel so bad about that.
And participation at this stage. I mean, you guys have been there since the first one this season, and I think you did some last season. You said as well, right?
Yeah, we only did one last season.
But that's helping them grow. I mean, you know, without our 6 or whatever it is places, people that we had in it, then I think it all helps them a lot personally.
Yeah, like Augusto's come over from VEC to race with us in this league, so.
So we have
Think-
Borg assimilated a few people, as per my world domination plan.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I thought that cross league thing would be a good idea. You see,
Yeah.
you know, the Rookie Monsters branding that you guys are doing already, I think is really fucking cool, personally.
You haven't seen the new website yet.
And I'll be using our skins in every other league race that I do now for sure, because they're just, you know, they're just really cool, and I like where we're going.
This is where I think that sponsorship thing isn't such a bad idea. We will get there. I just think it's that we're just a little bit too early for it. Give it 6 months, and we'll probably be a bit more capable of going to a sponsor and saying, "Look, this is what we're doing. Do you want to be part of it?" Rather than them saying, "This is what we want to do. Do you want to be part of it in the future?"
Yeah.
And that's the other bonus of cross league events as well, because you're now reaching, instead of just, you know, sponsoring one league, you're reaching a lot of leagues as a sponsor.
It's because, Cloven, I've seen some of your prototype versions of the website. There's no kind of like stage 1 or stage 2 rollout you could do to begin with, because that I think would help.
I was thinking of doing that, so I've just got one more page to do, which I've been doing since the last update. Basically, I really can't decide on what to do with it, but I might ask for some help after this. After that, then all of the things that we don't see, all the things that someone that isn't a member sees will be finished, basically. So then we can upload that, and then all the stuff we see, so the calendar and everything will still be the same as the old site, but that I can work on that like as and when. But all the other stuff a visitor would see will be finished.
Because I think that would really help. Because if at the moment, if we show on the website, it's a great Mark 1 site, but that having seen the Mark 2, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm going to wait for that before approaching anyone. And
yeah, I was going to mention that as well. Like, I wouldn't sponsor anyone until I've got it up.
And if you need some help with that, I've done 6 or 7 websites, maybe a few more than that in my time. So just let me know.
Okay, I'm just not good with the creative stuff, so I'll show you afterwards. I've got a few prototypes of it, but not.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Okay, I'll get it all set up while we're doing this.
Go on, post a link up of what you've done so far, and
Okay, I'll get it up quickly.
see what everyone else thinks. It's one of the perks of turning up to Motec Monday. What else?
Depending on your resolution, it might look a bit dodgy because I haven't completely finished the optimization yet, but for 1080p and 720p, it will still be good.
One thing I was going to add to that, or ask, or I'm not sure if it ties in exactly right, but Dwee, as you can see, has been asked to do quite a lot of skins from quite a lot of people, and we've been talking a little bit about how to manage that, and I reckon he should start charging.
Yeah, I think so.
And
$50.
I reckon
Bitcoin.
I reckon the best model will be a referral model, a bit like your classic pyramid scheme. And this is what I've said to Dree, and I'm not sure if he's.
My parents told me to stop listening whenever anyone says pyramid scheme.
Well, you can switch off now then. But essentially, you charge $50 for a skin. If someone wants a skin, you charge them $50 on the proviso that every time they refer someone, they get $15 back. So up to a maximum of $45. So I can pay out $50, knowing all I have to do is refer 3 people, and I get more or less all of it back. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
so
It does. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what other groups charge at the moment. I did know someone that did that. I'll ask them.
We can ask Taylor what the Lux liveries people charge,
but
because that's one of his sponsors.
I don't think we care what other people charge. Unless we're massively undercharging, I don't think we care. It's a case of $50, but you can get all of it back, so it might only cost you $5. Does that sound so
Yeah.
bad? Because you get what you pay for. Dewey will, for $50, will do an amazing job. Not only that, but if you're not happy with the first one, he'll go back and tweak it again and again until you are happy with it. And that might take, for you know, a fussy person might take 10 hours. So that $50 suddenly becomes very cheap.
Yeah.
And it's so I don't think you should be underselling yourself, and I think you should be valuing your time. And anything less than $50, I wouldn't bother. And I'm just concerned that if you're doing skins for, you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry and everyone else, then it's going to detract you from the things that are important to you, rather than helping everyone on the planet. You should be making them pay for your help and pay for your skill.
Yeah, I just don't know where to start.
Well, I think the best place to start is to be. I'm not sure if this is in your nature as yet, and I'm sure it will come eventually by the time you hit 40. Because start being quite firm with people and robust with people, and valuing the skill you have, that they can't do it, that's why they're coming to you, or they can't be bothered to do it, that's why they're coming to you, or they don't have the time to do it, that's why they're coming to you. So I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to do it.
So,
Getting paid for doing skins, so
so this is where I think if we had a side page, this is where it links into Human Club, and if we had a side page, just literally one page of, I think, I'm not sure if you're happy with that brand name that you've chosen, Dwee.
it's kind of random, to be honest. I could change it if you guys want. If you guys have a better idea, I don't know.
You could factor it into your name with GUI, but that doesn't really have a lot to do with skins.
No,
but
he's come up with a good one already, I think.
Go on, what is it?
Go on, Dre, you say.
This is kind of embarrassing. GP Studios. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Because GP stands for like Grand Prix, obviously, motorsport theme.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that.
So you've got
Clever.
like a double angle on it. So
I
rather
was also maybe thinking of RM Design or something like that. RM Studios. I don't know.
and this all comes down to, Dwee, whether you want to do it as your own and we'll give you some support, or whether you want to do it for the team and we'll manage it for you. But it doesn't have to be linked in the name one way or the other, because RM Studios does sound pretty cool. But I'm happy to manage it for you, because I know what it's like when you're young. You're just going to say yes to everyone, whereas I'll put some very firm boundaries in, saying, right, you've got a week's worth of consultation to get the skin how you want it, because otherwise people would be coming back to you and expecting that $50 to be a lifetime worth of skins, when it's not. It's a one skin, one option only. So I don't know. It depends. It's entirely up to you. You need to have a little think about it. But what I'm saying is that whatever we decide on, and it needs to be, I'd say, within the next week or two, get a side page tacked onto the side of Rookie Monsters page, so that you can point to people to the official rules, how the referral scheme works, and the price list. And
so that link I just posted, those are some guys that do it professionally.
oh yeah, Coda Factory.
Yeah, they're used by quite a few guys that I know. Again, I'm not sure how much they charge. That's why I'm saying you need to kind of know that, because you don't want to be putting a price in that's like, either too ridiculously low or too ridiculously high compared to, what a quite good competition. These guys do excellent skins.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can even compare to them.
No, but that's how you start, right? And I mean, not everyone wants to. As I say, I'm not sure what these guys charge. I have no idea.
But
I'll try and find out.
Drew's got some good ins at the moment. I'm not sure if you've heard of Kevin Shepherd.
Yeah, you mentioned it the other day, and I still don't know who he is.
You know, well, Ben knows who he is. Basically, he's a comedian, and he's got a YouTube channel, and he's into his initially racing, but because of the limitations around training and the costs around pure motor racing, he's got into sim racing. And so he's quite a high-profile chap who's, I'm sure, is friends of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And if you put that, I'm not saying referral scheme under his nose, but basically Dree's been asked to do him a skin, so he's working on one.
Sweet.
And we're not going to charge him for it, or Dree's not charging him for it, but if you say to him, right, for each one you get us, you're going to get $15 back, or 10 quid back, then, you know, I'm not sure he's going to be incentivised by 10 quid or not. It's probably not, but...
He might be incentivized with helping out like someone that he thinks is a good designer.
Yeah, that's probably more what it's going to be the incentive there.
Yeah.
But each one of those people who refers, all they've got to see through it is the fact that 50 quid's a deposit, and we've just got to get 3 more people from you to take Dewey up on the skin, and it's only costing you $5.
Yeah. Also, you said you don't know if you can compare to these guys with skins. You definitely can. I love your skins. Like, you're so good at making them.
I just think I have to refine them a bit more. You see the lines on the professional guys? They're all, I don't know how to say this, they're all in the right place. They're all kind of calculated.
Like with the flow of the car.
Yeah, especially the colors too. They kind of fade them out a bit. Not sure what they do in this.
But I think that takes time, though, right? The more of these you do, like these guys have been doing it for years and years. I think these skin guys, so they've got a good repertoire, a good history behind them, and that's what it takes. The more you do, the more you'll refine your skills for sure.
And the more of a back catalogue you get, and the more of a portfolio you can build up as well.
They got some going back to 2007, is it? Jesus Christ.
But if you went out there and said, I'm doing skins for free, then literally the world and his dog would come and get a skin off of you. And if you did it for £5, then you'd probably be in a very similar boat. I think you should start high and negotiate down, rather than start low and find out that you've got no time to race anymore because you're too busy doing skins.
Yeah, but still, I'm not sure if if it's fair if I charge more than these guys,
But
I'll find out what they charge anyway, because I think they probably charge a bit more than that. I mean, you can just see the work that goes into some of these skins there. They are pretty fucking impressive.
They look better than the real life ones.
I think a few of the McLaren people need to have a look at this site. But what I'm saying is, you don't see it as a failure if you put your price out there and no one takes you up on it. It's not a case of that. It's a case of, wait, you're like a fisherman and a hook. Do you want to be taking on loads of skins? I mean, what's your goal? What would you like to be doing in terms of skin wise? How many would you want to do per month, for example?
Now I don't know really.
How long has it taken you to do Kevin Shepherd's one, or get to a stage where you're close to it being presented?
Oh well, to be honest, like Kevin's skin, I really had no no idea what to do, so I just kind of did something a bit random. So it took me a bit longer. I'd say like 3 hours.
But in terms of when you were told, when Tim said, right, he wants a skin, and to a point where when you're going to say, right, here you go, it's ready, because it's not just about the time you take on it, it's about the time you need to ponder it and think on it and sleep on it, and then the next day you'll think of something, oh, let's try this, and come back another day and let's try something else that you didn't think of the first time. It's not just a question of the the execution, it's the creative side that goes behind it as well.
And that's the difficulty with how long those things take. I mean, I know when I've done skins, it's coming up with the ideas and you try a few things out, it doesn't work, you put another idea. It's that whole thought process that takes the time as opposed to the actual execution. Once you know what you're doing, you can knock it together relatively quick, but it's getting to that point.
I just think start at 50 and sit back and wait for someone to bite. Once you get one person biting and you've got 2 or 3 really good leads to start off with, you can promote it on the RF2WEC. No, on the website, on the landing page of the RF2WEC, they'll give you a banner because of the work you're doing for them, and because you've given them a skin, and because you've given them a video, and it will legitimise the work that you are doing for them. So if on that same page you say you're charging $100 for a video, they're already thinking, great, we've got $100 worth of free product here. We'll give them a banner, no problem. So having it in black and white on a website, I think legitimizes the price, or at least kind of adds value, if nothing else. So I think just a side page linked in with a link via our website, and we can put it on Facebook and everywhere else to say RM Studios or GP Studios, whatever you want to call it, now taking bookings, and a skin can cost you as little as $5 through our referral scheme.
Yeah, I'm happy to make that. If you, I'm sure you have an exact idea of what you want, or if not, I don't mind. But just tell me like whatever you want, and I'll do it for you.
I mean, it's down to Dre really, because I don't know the relationship that he wants to go into with it. But if what I propose is, let me manage it all for you. I'll hook you up with the customer. You get all the money. We don't want any of the money, and we'll see where it goes.
If you guys are gonna help out, I guess. I mean, you should take some of the cut. Like, I don't know.
No, I work
Just
for
a little
free.
bit. But
I do it because I like it. I don't do it for money.
Well,
Apart from when I get hired by companies to do it.
Again, it depends what you want to do, but have a think on it. We can even do maybe put it into a team fund or something like that, or half of it. Or...
Well, now you mentioned team funds. That's what I was thinking. You know, at some point we should think about a team fund and just all, if needed, contribute a little bit towards that fund to just, you know, like for some website hosting, whatever else it is that, you know, the costs that the team kind of has. I don't see any issue with that, hopefully.
Yeah.
This is something I did want to try and avoid as well. I don't really want to do that particularly. But I think it depends where you want to take it. If it is something where to step it up a bit for sponsorship, then I think you are going to have to polish up your product and have some money available. But I don't really want to talk about money or do big commitments on money for definite. I mean, if it's something tiny per month, then possibly. But I just want to try and avoid that as much as possible.
I think you just make it voluntary. It's always good to just make it voluntary and just, you know, have a suggested amount. And
Yeah, I'll happily voluntarily donate. Like if I have spare like $5 lying around, I'll give it.
Yeah, it's something that I'll think about how to do it. It might even be, I don't know, $1 a month or something. I don't know, and voluntary. Whatever you. Well, I need to think about it more. I'm not settled on the idea of doing that. I'd rather not.
cool, just a thought.
But this is where, if we can think of a way of earning money that isn't gonna, I don't know.
We can just milk Burger's will making business.
Well, I don't want to make it look like we're milking Joy either. Because I think it's something that he can develop into something that he wants to do, and I don't want to get in the way of that. But I reckon if we for every customer we send your way, we'll get the $5 that are left over out of the referral bonus. I think that's fair, 10%.
Yeah, agreed.
Because you're doing 90% of the work, we're just hooking you up, and I'll deal with the customer to set out the parameters, and then you two can speak creatively. Just you make sure you stick to those parameters though, because if you give an inch, they take a mile. But I mean, these are just ideas at the moment. But I'll type something up, make sure Drew's happy with it, and then give it to you, McLovin, to publish as a link.
Yeah, those design briefs, that's what can take a while to make sure you get kind of nailed down early on. Otherwise, like you say, you're forever going back and forwards. So good to spend a bit of time figuring out exactly how to extract that design brief initially.
Yes. Yeah, must be some sort of template to work through to get to that end result where everyone's happy.
Yeah, having been working on quite a few commercial and residential properties over the last few years, the design brief's always a thing that can be a real pain in the ass.
Yeah. So I think we talked about website, sponsorship, GP Studios.
Before we move on, can I just get some feedback on the website if anyone's looked at it?
Oh yeah, come on, let's have a look. Totally missed it.
Looks awesome.
Thanks. There are other pages, I just haven't set them up yet. So you can go to like add about / on the end of that, or events and contact, and they'll take you to the other pages.
Why is my website temporarily sleeping?
Because it's on a free host, because I don't want to pay for hosting on my test one. So
Isn't there some sort of hidden page you can do on the one-on-one hosting?
yeah, but I don't have access to it yet. I haven't got the password or anything.
Oh, I can give you that.
Okay.
Oh, and I can host it on my account if you want. I've got, as I said, I've got a few websites that I host, so it wouldn't be a big deal to add another one.
Sounds good.
Oh, that's really annoying. It was working like 5 minutes ago, and now they've put it down for maintenance. Oh well.
I've seen it anyway, so I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool, I have to say.
Thank you.
Pretty cool. I like bold and blocky kind of websites these days, very modern.
Yeah. I would thank Gooey for the design of that. I was trying to get to it, but I couldn't quite get it, and then he nailed it for me.
Right, I was going to open up a workbook, wasn't I? So, before we move on to why I can't break, what about talking about that endurance event? I'm trying to think which one's the next endurance event. We're talking about the laps. Where's the calendar?
Talking about Long Beach?
I think is Long Beach the next one?
For the WEC.
Well, I'm talking about Jesse's one as well.
Oh, okay.
Which one's the next endurance event out of Jesse's?
Sebring, I think.
Sebring, yeah.
Which is awesome for us.
Oh no, I think it might be, because we got Sebring in the GT3s, but I don't think the Enduro Races Sebring is for a while yet.
No, I think we've got the World Touring Series Sebring coming up on Saturday the 17th.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the next one. So that's the one we should really be focusing on in terms of tactics.
Don't change your tyres. That's the only tactic I care about.
So I did quite a long test on this, and I posted a link on Discord earlier. Let's just download this and get this set up.
I was liking your setup for that, by the way, Tech. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was.
The one for Sebring, the GT3.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't spend too much time on that one, so glad it kind of worked.
I still find it a bit shaky through sunset, but I think it's because I'm taking my Aston line instead of the Corvette line.
It was doing that thing that the we were doing in the Aston, where you kind of throw it in, and as you lift off, it kind of throws the back end out, and it gives you extra turning without costing you any front tyres, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was quite liking it. Let's see if this is opened up. So we're looking for a Sebring.
Is Long Beach strategy on the agenda for tonight?
I think we need to wait because there's a test race Saturday, so let's wait for that. I think we should concentrate on the crap. I didn't put the test race in the calendar, did I?
Yeah, I think you did. How long is that test race for?
45, I think.
It's only 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Also, everyone's aware I can't make it, right?
Yep. Oh, and just on that, we obviously, even though we're kind of thinking maybe just me and McLovin as solo drivers, we're going to be submitting 2 drivers every car, right?
Just in case.
Just in case, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Why is this downloaded? Yeah.
Oh shit, I just realised Sebring's this weekend, isn't it? Yeah, I can't make it then.
Yeah, I think you said you couldn't make the test race, so I'll be doing the test race.
I can't make the World Touring Series either.
Oh.
I'm away for the entire weekend, so I won't be able to make NGTC either, which I'm annoyed because I want the points in NGTC.
This may be your drop round.
Yeah, but I had one where I finished 11th, so I wanted that to be my drop one.
That was a test race, though. Oh, you're talking about the NGTC?
Yeah.
Let's go back to this Google Calendar. Keep losing it. So, any ideas when this test race is? I can't remember when they said it was now.
The 17th? Yeah,
what
this
time?
weekend. 10:30 our time, I think it is.
Really?
Or 10:30 Paris time. It's in the evening, that's all I can remember.
Oh, in the evening?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Which
got
is
an
annoying.
overlap.
Yeah.
Overlappage going on there.
I'll double check it there quickly.
Right, have a look at this. Does this actually work? Watch how bad this is. But it's going to work. Oh, bloody hell. Put the right website in. See, look. Just sitting there spinning. Doing absolutely nothing.
I literally just clicked on it, it's perfectly fine for me. It's weird.
Just doesn't work.
Second, the test race is at 10 p.m. Paris time.
So that's 9
Okay,
PM
so
our
9.
time.
Yeah.
What a pain in the arse that is. PM. And how long is it for, George?
45 minutes.
How long? 45?
Yeah.
Just leave it now. Make it green. Don't want to get muddled up. So
Disappointing. I was hoping to do well at Sebring in the GT3s.
Would you want to talk? Should we put that on pause for the minute, that chat, and go to the
Oh
long,
no, I don't mind.
Go to the long
Don't
beach
change
trip?
it for me. I don't mind. You can. I don't mind. I'll listen to whatever.
Well, alright, let's stick with the what we were going to do, the Sebring in the GT Power Pack then.
Did you want my Motec file for the few laps I did the other day? It was only like 4 laps though, so I don't think it'll be worth it.
Well, I've got 31 laps I did the other day as part of my punishment.
Oh, yeah.
I think I crashed it. can't remember what I crashed on lap 11 or something. One of the laps I crashed on. Not majorly, just kind of edged into the barrier on Sunset. And I think I was... What was the tyres on that as default? Was it softs or mediums?
I think default is mediums. It might even be hards.
I think they were S7s.
It'll
On the
tell you
setup,
in,
it was S7s.
Yeah. I don't think I changed them. So S7s after 30... Well, first of all, we need to work out how many laps we anticipate the race is going to be.
45-ish, I think.
So 45 laps. Rear left, 71. So front right is 58% after 32 laps, I think that is. I think that's, and I think looking at the times, I was slowing down quite a lot as well. So this is what we need. We need a comparison of lap times to tyre wear.
No, that can be difficult. That can be a misleading comparison sometimes.
Yeah.
Only because the tires do kind of come and go a little bit on occasions.
I did notice that.
Yeah, and I don't know whether that's the way the model works or whether it's just you're adjusting to the tire wear. I'm never really sure about that one, but I definitely notice it when I'm racing that they'll go for a few laps and I'll be like pretty awful, and then they'll come back again and I'll be pretty quick.
Glad you've said that.
I think it's only when they start to get really low that they then just go. But otherwise, I think there's this up and down thing that they do. It could be you just adjusting, by the way.
Well, you can see that from lap 1, I've been doing 204, 203, 203, down to 202. I think that's where I came off. 20-second. It lost about 20 seconds there. And then 205, 204, 203, 203, 204, 204. So they're all... I'm not sure I was going particularly fast either. It's just kind of grinding these laps out.
Consistent.
A couple of moments towards the end here where literally I was falling asleep. I think I was really knackered. I should have gone to bed, but I was falling asleep towards the end. There's a few mistakes at the end. But
We have 7 whole viewers on YouTube as well, which is more than normal, I think.
Well, the tyres are holding up on S7s, but do you remember a few people were saying that the S8s had like a more consistent feel to them? You know what you were talking about, them going away and coming back.
Yeah, generally the temperature spread on the S8s is better. They dissipate temperature quicker, I think.
And I think there is some kind of thermal degradation each time you overheat a tyre. It does lose the grip.
And I think the S8s they don't stay at that higher temperature as long as the S7s, so they degrade a little less quickly.
Let's see if I've got that car stat thing. That I don't think this is.
I think you can't open them because the power pack is encrypted.
Yeah, the GT3 pack's not in there, I don't think.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well,
if you go to your tire tab and just look at your average tire wear, see what you're getting. It should be about 1%, I'm guessing.
Where does it say average tyre wear? Which tabs that
The
go.
wear
I
tab.
think it's in that first one. Tire temps.
Oh, here we go. Tire wear per lap. Is that overall then? Is it?
It's an average of every lap.
Oh, okay. I like it.
So what is that? What is that giving you?
So it's 1.06 front left, 1.38 front right, 0.92 rear left, and 1.38 rear right. So the front right and rear right are 1.38, which are consistent. Well, which are equal, not consistent.
So 1.4 over 45 laps, did we say?
Yeah. Let's get my calculator out. 61% wear. It's probably doable, isn't it?
Not sure.
Yeah, it'd be close. I'd feel happier using S8s, I think, if I wasn't going to change them.
Yeah, definitely. I think the softer tire. If you're making them, if you're scrubbing them that much, some of us will destroy them. So I think give the harder tire a try.
Oh, look at that friction circle. It's more of a friction pancake.
The scale is a bit off.
So it's a scale, is it? Right, let's see if I can change that scale. Let's put, say,
Should be 2.
3. Yeah. Not exactly sure what that's telling us, but
And just go to your engine for a second. Want to have a look at your RPM history or histogram.
so let's do that RPM history. So this is percent. Is it? What's that? Percent. Engine RPM.
Yeah.
That's not percent. It's thousands.
No, that's good. So most of your engine usage is between 4.8 and 6.5, say, which is where you want to be with the Corvette, I think.
Yeah, I wanted to get horsepower on here because I've got torque curve. Oh no, here it is. Yeah, we do have it. So your engine torque, this red mark up here, I'm presuming this is where I'm changing, or it's doing a plot and it's noticing that you torque from about, what's that, 5,500 revs down to 6,500 revs. You're losing a lot of torque, but your power between 5.5 and 6.5 is still going up, but it doesn't actually show you what happens past that, other than because I haven't actually gone past 6.5.
Oh, because this is a scatter plot with the measurements. So it's not like a power curve where you have all the values and you see the fall off.
Oh, so it's just because I've changing gear too early. If I was to go do 30 laps and rev it up to 7,000,
Or the rev limiter is too short.
it's cutting off the rev limit's cutting it off.
Yeah.
I see.
It flattens out, I think, from ones I've done before at around 7,000.
Yeah, there are a couple of marks there, and they seem to be dropping from about 6, 7 downwards, 6, 8 maybe. So I reckon about 6.5 is probably where you want to be changing, because your torque's dropping off at 6.5 quite steeply. Not steeply, but maybe 6.5 maximum. But yeah, your torque is about 5.5. So anyway, I've been changing that sort of area. Oil temp. I'm not sure what the safe temperature was, but it's normally about 100 degrees.
I think 100's for your water temp. Your oil temp can go quite a bit higher, so you can probably, if your radiator's up, you can drop your radiator there, I think.
Yeah. That's quite possible. Let me just jot that down in my little notepad here. Well, I could just open up rFactor 2 here and just change it, couldn't I? In fact,
I never, I actually never look at the oil temperature. It's always the water temperature, because if you keep that around 100 or below, then your oil temps will be okay.
well, let's add another channel then. Water temperature. Yeah, they're well low, aren't they, in comparison?
You're at 80 with your water, so yeah, you could definitely drop the rad one if you can in the settings.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that would maybe give me a little bit less, a little bit more time.
Brake temps?
Yeah. Brake temp for rainbow. Channel report, here we go. So I've only done the front. Should I maybe add the rear as well?
Yeah, I mean, fronts normally take the most, but...
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't bother. So... maximum 523 771. Look at that. Front left is a lot more. But I think that's within range. It's normally about 350 to 650, I think, from what I've seen of other cars. Again, I don't know on this one.
Yep, no, that's fine. The temps are okay. Nothing too crazy there.
And they're all happening at that first hairpin. Coming around there. Then that first kind of dogleg right-hander. And that is it. Sunset's fine. So there's only 2 places on the track where it does get hot. Both of those are right-hand corners. Right, so look at my throttle position, make sure I don't have any throttle hanging when I'm braking. Which it looks alright to me. Oh, here we go, tyre lock. This is this tyre lock feature down here.
So Jan, when it spikes like that, is that saying that the wheel's actually locked?
It should, but now it may be a bit not quite true, because the way I set the sleep is different. And well, I have some problems with the sign values, so I need to work a bit on it.
Cool.
So sometimes if you spin the wheels, it may show as a lock.
Yeah, because you get in the rear. Can't see me locking front and rear.
I go to the tires and the sleep tab.
Okay. So I'm not certain what this is showing me. I'm not confident on what this means.
I need to work it a bit.
Okay.
Just go to your driver tab a second. I want to ask Jan a quick question on the steering and oversteer. And go to driver general.
Yeah.
So Jan, you see the steering and oversteer chart.
Yeah.
So what? Can you just let me know what exactly that is? That a steering input is the percentage.
Is the wheel position. I
Wheel
think
position.
you can change that with the steering angle. I think it is.
Do you want me to change it from a percentage, or how do I change it?
A steering wheel position. It's another channel. That channel shows exactly the degrees of rotation from the steering wheel. That is the steering. It's not needed.
Oh, okay. So that one,
No,
like that.
so the oversteer, it's a Motec. Well, it's built in Motec, but I just made a copy to change the math to use the Proviet channel. So I think that's a difference in the rotation that you should have by turning the wheel and the real rotation of the car.
So
Something like that.
basically, generally, there he's turning the wheel less than the car's rotating a bit more. That's the oversteer.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's negative, it means the car doesn't turn as much. If it's positive, the car is turning too much. So the rear is rotating more.
Gotcha. So if it's negative, that's understeer. If it's positive, it's
Yeah.
oversteer. Okay, I got it now.
I think this one it varies with the speed. I don't know what exactly does the speed weighting, but I think it's like if you have the wheel on I don't know 50 degrees, it should turn around 50 or something like that. I don't know how the suspension geometry affects it or how it's computed exactly, but with oversteer or understeer, it means the rotation of, I think it's the angle of the rotation of the arc describing the car is more or less is the same angle or more or less than what it should be.
So I'm just looking at this straight coming out of Le Mans into Sunset. There's very minimal steering input in that. And these lines are more or less converged, but they're not exactly converged.
I can hear you.
Oh,
I hear you very soft.
Yeah, sorry, I put the microphone up and was coughing. I'm just looking at this straight here between Le Mans and Sunset. And the lines are very similar, but they're not exactly the same. So I'm not sure why that is, because there'd be next to no steering input there, I imagine. Where's the
Yes, when that could be the weighting, the speed weighting. I don't know.
And then as we get down to the straight, so what you're saying is when the orange line is below the blue line, that's oversteer.
No. When the orange line is negative,
Yep.
that's understeer. When it's positive, is oversteer.
Oh, okay. So there's a little hoop raised there.
Yeah, that's because the rear slide a bit, only it turns a bit more.
Yeah,
When
it's
I would
come out.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
you can see the steering wheel position doing the counter steering.
Yeah, but let me just put that channel back on, just so I can put it back on there. Oops.
No, the steering is different. It's the percentage of the wheel. It's
Oh, okay.
yeah. You can remove it from here.
Yeah, the
The blue
position's better
line
to
is the
use.
steering input.
So as the orange is coming round, as the orange is getting higher, I'm counter steering by putting the blue one negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the rear went a bit out.
I mean, the main thing to take from that for me is if it's always below the line, then you're always getting understeer.
But
And so
the car is more stable.
exactly, the car's more stable.
That's prone to oversteer.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
trying
prone
to
to
think.
oversteer, exactly.
I think it was by about lap 8 I was starting to push it a bit. Let me just find out where my fastest lap was. Lap report.
Go to data.
Oh, it'll tell me there when it lap 8. Yeah, so it's lap 8. So driver general lap 8, and let's have a look at how I took sunset, or just generally the whole lap, because I think I was pushing it a bit more at this point. Let's just zoom in a bit. So what is it, Control Plus, or how do I zoom in? Oh, with the mouse wheel. That's
No, if you want to change the scaling,
yeah.
I think you have to do it with the edit. I don't remember if there's a hotkey to increase or decrease the scaling of the fields.
Right, let's just go back to here. And so I think this is, oops, didn't want to do that. Oh, God.
Just the mouse wheel.
Oh, right, yeah, I see. Okay. So this is, just looking at the map here, this is the start finish straight. And I think I can just hold this arrow button down and it will go through. Let's maybe forward it a bit to when we actually get to some braking. And move it over a bit. Right, here we go. So turn 1. We've got the orange line going below the blue line, so that's still going to be understeer. Is that what you're saying?
No, because the orange is negative. That means it's understeer.
Understeer, yeah. So I'm getting understeer through there.
Well, let's just think about that. So, isn't it still determined a bit by your steering wheel position, though?
Well, that's what the blue
Well,
is.
yeah, obviously.
Because what I mean is, you can't really tell how much understeer it is because it's relative to your steering wheel position. So it might only be very minor understeer, and the percentage is not showing.
But on the math, it takes the wheel position. But
Okay.
I don't know what it does or how it's computed. That
Gotcha.
just Motec has it.
So this bit here, I'm just trying to find a bit where there's some oversteer, just to kind of like make a comparison. So the first bit of oversteer we can see is this bit here, which is kind of braking. Braking.
Yeah, you're breaking the.
So that's turn 1, braking zone into turn 2, and that's probably where I'm getting the rear end out a bit through braking rather than actual.
Yeah, that could be.
So that's probably what that is. So let's just keep moving. So we're looking for orange above. A little tiny lump of it there. That's again possibly just kicking out the rear end a bit just to get it to turn around the corner. Because red is brake.
Yeah, you are braking a bit when you have the little oversteer.
I'll tell you what that is. That's that lift off oversteer. You see that lift off curve from there to there? The green trace.
Yeah.
That's the lift off oversteer, and it's really good for getting the car turned. You jump off the accelerator and it brings the rear end out, and that's one of the things I liked about that setup is you don't have to brake to initiate that turn. You just take off the accelerator and it kicks the rear end out. That's what I think that is. Let's find another bit with the orange above the blue. So there's a couple of bits here. And again, this is under braking, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, you are turning the wheel while braking.
Yeah, and that's a little bit just a... I don't know, I've really struggled with braking at the moment, and I think turning the wheel a little bit makes the car go a little bit more sideways. I'm not sure if that's going to slow me down a lot more, quicker. I doubt it, but... And then as we're going around this... And this is one thing I didn't like about this setup, is that you really feel like you're creeping around this hairpin. You're going so slowly, it feels like you're going so slowly around it.
So one of the big differences probably between mine and your style going into that hairpin,
Yeah.
is you see how you're pretty much totally off the brake.
The red line, red trace, yeah.
Yeah, so as you're going around that hairpin there, you kind of drop right off the brake. I would probably still be on a bit of brake to keep the weight on the front, to keep it turning, if you know what I mean. So I'm not rolling around it as much. I'll be really trail braking all the way through that corner until I can get back on the accelerator.
So there's a big gap between there and there, between where I'm letting go of the brake and where I'm accelerating.
Which might be okay, but I bet on my trace I brake a little bit later, and then I trail brake all the way through the apex or up to the apex there, and then get back on the accelerator. It's probably what I think I do at that corner.
Okay. And would you say that your accelerator starts before you let go of the brake, or just at the same point, or?
Potentially on that corner again, maybe just to settle the back end, or do something with it. So just depends how the car feels on that corner.
Okay. No, I'm losing a second or two, so I'm all ears. So let's just keep moving to find a bit of orange above the blue line.
In fact, I was just trying to pull up my trace for my fastest lap. What corner was that? Corner 7 or 8?
1, 2. Oh, let's go back. That's going to be turn 7, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking at my trace, and exactly what I was saying. Like I'm braking all the way down, and then as soon as I'm off the brakes, I'm back on the accelerator.
Can you bring your screen up? Yep, we can see it. Oh, I can see it. So, turn... I'm looking at the green throttle. Hold on, is green... Oh, hold on a sec. Green is throttle, isn't it? And red is brake. Yeah, so more or less, as your brake is released, your throttle is on. So it's more or less a complete handover. As soon as one's finished, the other one starts. It's like a V formation.
Yeah, sorry. So when you're saying it doesn't want to turn through that corner, I'm keeping it on the brake to force the back end around before I get back on the accelerator. And I reckon I'd probably brake a little bit later than you, which is why I can do that.
Yeah. I think I'm too scared of locking up most of the time. But yeah, I can see what you're talking about now. Okay, let's keep going. A little bit there. I'd be interested to see some of these curves. There's some high-speed curves coming up. Yeah, it's all fairly under control. I'm not really smashing it back like I was. Oh, look, here we go. Here's a bit of orange above the blue.
What turn is that?
Sunset, which is towards the end.
So yeah, you should get some oversteer on sunset. So that's turn 19, is it?
Yes.
20?
Yeah, turn 19. I turn 18, technically. So that's a massive amount there, more or less at the apex of sunset.
See, and if I look at my trace, I'm the opposite to that.
Let's have a look. I think you've stopped screen sharing. There you go.
This is me entering sunset right here.
I think that's... You sure?
Turn
I think
turn
that's
18.
Le Mans.
Turn 18, we said, right? No, that's not turn 18. Then. Hang on.
I'm just looking at the dot on your map. Press your shift right arrow key, that's it.
It was turn 19.
Yep.
So again, I'm still not getting any oversteer. It's all understeer through there for me.
Let's just have a look at your brake trace comparison to mine. I'll put my scale back.
Just 1 second, guys. I'm right back. Sorry about that. I'm back.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my brake pressure. Yours looks like it's going up to about 85%. Mine's getting to about 70% at that turning.
So I'm braking a little bit harder into the turn.
Yep.
Yeah, 81%.
Also, like I think you're braking more straight.
Yeah, definitely. I
Straight
brake.
line.
Yeah, so I flatten that corner out when I brake and go hard in a very straight line. and then modulate the brake and the accelerator through the rest of the turn.
Whereas I'm braking and I'm using my wheel to balance out that oversteer because I don't know. See, look at my orange curves. I'm getting oversteer at that point.
Yeah, the brake makes the rear light and it goes out.
Yeah. So what my technique is into that corner is as I turn in, I'll turn in and then I'll straighten back up and really hammer on the brakes, and then I'll turn in as I come off the brakes again.
It looks like you must be turning in. Let's go back to your view again. So yeah, you've turned in and you're still full flat on the gas. Look at that. And then you'll straighten up and then smash the brakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeping a straight wheel. I can see your orange and blue line are very close together.
Yeah, right here.
Like, are you doing something
And
like
then,
just where the orange and blue line stop being straight. Tell me your speed.
my speed is 176, 177.
Is that where your blue line is now?
Hang on, 180, 183 as I'm about to start to turn again.
Is that kilometers an hour?
That's in kilometers, yeah.
Yeah, see, I
And
think
then
I'm
you'll-
losing a lot of time there.
Then you'll see I start to come off the brake as I start to apply steering angle. And then I use the brake and the accelerator to balance the car, because that's where I've got both of them kind of on through the rest of that corner.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then that last bit, I'll just let it roll around and then hammer back on. As soon as I spot the exit, I hammer back on the accelerator again.
Yeah. What's your minimum corner speed?
Minimum corner speed. Would that be in workbook?
Yeah, no, it's that blue line.
Hang on, let me go back.
if you have the measurements? It's at the right of it's the minimum and maximum of the selected region.
No, just look at that blue line. Just drag that blue line to the lowest dip in that.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. So about 122.
Wow, mine's 106. And that's my
Yeah,
fastest
so
lap.
there's a lot of time to be made up for you there. This was a 120.3, I think, this lap.
Wow. Oh, that's depressing.
Yeah, I'll send you this file, because then you can overlay it with yours, and you really be easy to spot where I'm braking, accelerating differently, and you'll make up that time in no time.
Go on, send it in this chat. I'll do it now. You can turn your screen share off if you want.
It was only 4 laps, so it's not a big file.
Oh yeah, that's right. You with a little dial-up connection.
No. You know, when those guys posted their download and upload setting, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Burger's got a good one, hasn't he? Here we go. Look at that, 2 seconds faster. How can I compete with that?
I might have not had much fuel, I'm not sure.
Activate the variance.
Activate variance.
It's on the right.
That's
That's for the symbol. Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a look at. Is that my fastest lap as well? No, that's my lap. Oh, that's your fastest lap. That's my fastest lap. Right, yeah, so that's good.
Yeah, so you're in black, I'm in red.
Yeah. And is that the beginning? I think that's the end, isn't it? So let's just go. Let's go back to the beginning. So you're already gaining time on the straight because we're looking at this black line here. Just gaining time up the straight. As soon as we start braking, yeah, exactly. Well, as soon as we start braking for turn 1, and what's your braking marker for that?
Now turn one's a tricky one, isn't it? So turn one, I'm not 100% sure I take that turn the same every time. It's a real field turn for me, turn 1. So brake marker wise, not just a bit past where the pit.
There's some traffic lights on the pit lane. That's a rough guide for me, depending on what happened last lap.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's towards the where the pit lane exit is. I think it's just past there.
So let's have a look at this corrected speed. So blue is you, black is me, and I'm slowing down a lot more than you are. I think we're braking more or less at the same time.
You have to accelerate. You have the accelerator a bit earlier than me. Not much, but a bit.
Yeah, your exit in this turn is better than Tech. You've got the correct speed.
But overall, look at the variance I'm losing.
No,
but you gain a bit there. Between turn 1 and turn 2, you gain a bit.
Okay, but going into turn 1, the variance is 0.06. Coming out, going into turn 2, the variance is 0.2. So I'm actually losing overall. Look at this hill here. I'm losing, but then I gain a little bit here as the line goes down.
Yeah.
But I soon lose it again. But overall,
Yeah,
I'm losing.
I don't lose as much there because it's a short run to the next turn. I think is the main reason. Otherwise, you would gain quite a bit on me there.
Yeah, I guess. So the exit isn't as important for that as it is for, say, Sunset.
Correct. There's 3 corners on this track where the exit's really important. 4 corners, and that's not one of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Good point. So that's turn 1 resolved. You're better at it.
No, I think that's even.
But I've still lost time though. Basically, you're braking later, not giving much consideration to your exit because it's not as important.
I brake later and I don't brake as hard.
Yeah, carries more speed over on the turn.
But then I suffer on turn X, you see. Maybe I'm carrying a bit too much speed through the turn because then I can't get on the power as quickly as you on corner exit. So I'd probably adjust my style having looked at this on that one.
Well, that gap there proves that you're faster through it. There's no, I wouldn't say.
I know, but imagine if that stayed constant, which it could do if I brake a little bit different, maybe a bit more pressure through that corner. I could then instead of you gaining back there, I could keep that line constant. I think if I change my approach to get better exit.
Yeah, I think you could have brake a bit more on the first tire.
Yeah.
Instead of having the second brake.
Yeah.
Apply more pressure from the beginning and carry a bit more speed and. Well,
I mean that's a tricky corner.
A little
like
bit, a little bit less than you are carrying now, but that would provide a better exit.
Yeah, that corner for me is always a bit of guesswork, you see. So I kind of really try and feel the car through that corner, and I adjust. I bet every lap is different. I adjust as the car feels.
Is this right? Am I reading this right? That I'm actually braking 100% there?
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
So I may need to brake 5% more, and you should brake 10% less.
Yeah. And so let's keep going. And then turn 2, I think we call this. I'll brake around about the 100 mark, I think it is, just where the grass verge appears.
Yeah, I'm just after that normally. So we're very similar braking point again, but I'm off the accelerator a little later than you again.
Are we on the right corrected term? Because I think there's a map and a time, isn't there?
You're on distance. Is that right? Which one is it? Which one's right, time or distance?
Now it's time.
So I want
I
distance.
think, yeah.
So I'm braking a little bit earlier than you. No, I'm letting go of the accelerator a little bit earlier than you, but also braking a little bit earlier than you. And lots of weaving going on. The minimum corner speed there is very similar though.
Yeah, and if you look at the
104 for me and 106 for you.
if you look at the variance through turns 3 to 4, there's not much difference between us basically. Like once we get into those turns, we don't change much time. It's just initially.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
And then you see you gain time on the exit again there.
It's pretty flat through there, that variance. We're stuck at half a second, so I've lost a half a second by there already. But I think that's a lot of that might be the leftovers of sunset, or some of that might be the leftovers of sunset.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of it is.
But then coming into this braking zone here, I've lost about 0.3 of a second from there to there.
Because that deck has brakes a bit late, later than you.
Yeah, that's all braking. Otherwise, our trace is very similar.
So I've let go of the accelerator there and braking there. You've let go of the accelerator there and braking there, and your crossover point is higher up than mine. So you are braking.
Yeah, I didn't fully commit to the brakes at initial braking there by the looks of it.
No, I think you have. It's gone from there. It's difficult maybe to see, but let's see if I can zoom in a bit. So there's no brakes, and brakes have gone from there to 100% all the way along.
Yeah.
Whereas mine have gone up to 100% all the way along, and then dipped off the same way as yours have dipped off. I've just braked earlier. What's your braking marker there?
It actually looks similar through that corner, doesn't it? I don't know how I've gained time on you there. It looks similar to me, besides the initial entry.
I can see this bit here. You're holding onto your brakes a lot harder as you're turning in. Can you see the steering angle? You're turning in with your brakes still at 40-50%.
Like you're doing more tail braking.
And I think that's helping you turn the car, which is where
That's what I try and do on that corner as well. Keep the brake down to turn the car.
I guess I gotta go be right back.
Okay.
And then we get back on the gas about the same. So there's not much in that one, I don't think. If you look from the corner start to corner finish, by the time we get out of it, there's not much difference.
Yeah, I mean, I was half a second down. I've lost 2/10 through that corner, so still sizable.
Entry, I think, yeah.
So we're coming out, similar there. Your RPM, what am I changing what are your RPMs compared to mine? You're going up to 7,100 for that gear change. I'm changing at 6.7. 6.7 versus 7.1.
Yeah, I think I try and change about 7 every time is where I'm aiming to change. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's generally what I try and do.
6.6 as opposed to 6.9. 6.5. Yours is 6.9 more or less.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying. Just under 7, I want to try and change.
Okay, and then we come to this braking zone here. And I quite like this corner, but it's very easy to go wide on it and get the line wrong. But this is what I like about your setup, is that you can fling it into this corner and get the rear end out a little bit, or feels like you're getting the rear end out anyway.
I wonder, do I roll through this corner or do I?
Do you what, sorry?
I'm just trying to think if I roll through this corner a bit. It's one of those corners, I think it's faster if you kind of get off the brake early and then just roll through it, but I'm not sure that's what I do.
Well, it's kind of two corners, isn't it?
Yeah. I let the engine braking deal with the second part of the corner, I think.
Well, I'm coming off before you are.
Yes, that's a common theme at the moment. You come up before me, and then I'm braking deeper into the corner because I've come off later than you.
And look at your brake trace, it's very close to 100%. Dips
And
off
then
there.
see, that's what I'm saying. So what I do is I'm in a straight line braking, and then as soon as I'm kind of getting to the point when I come off the brake, I just come off it totally, and then let the engine braking do the last bit of the turn. I think just for that one corner, it's faster doing that.
Well, I can't believe when you start turning, you're like at about 90% brakes pressure. By the time
Yeah,
you've made a
the back end
considerable...
just starts to step out, and just it starts to step out, I let go of the brake.
Yeah. But
not much difference between us on that corner again. If you look at the actual type of variance.
yeah, but look at the different styles of steering. You see these blue and orange lines for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
My black lines up and down are much harder, aren't they? It's almost like I'm flinging it in there. I think I need to be smoother into that and brake a lot later and use, rather than flinging it to get it to turn, use that later braking a lot higher pressure.
Exactly, that's exactly what happened. My back end starts to step out a little bit, so I don't need the steering input. I let go of the brake and then just let it coast through. Like you can see, I've got very minimal input there on the accelerator or the brake.
Yeah. Give it a little squirt there.
Just to steady it and then
slow build up.
Smooth up and out so it doesn't push through the corner.
I think this highlights the difference in style and the fact that I am trying to unsettle the car with a wheel, whereas you're unsettling the car with the brakes and the wheel.
And I think that's what you were wondering about with our braking points, why I brake later generally. And I think that corner there definitely sums it up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm learning. But the variance is, as you say, negligible.
Yeah, negligible. So there's different ways to take that corner and it's about the same.
But I am now 1 second down.
Yeah, less than halfway through the lap. Well, probably halfway through the technical part of the lap because there's most of the big corners done.
And then the next jump in variance is here. What's going on here? Oh, so this is the entry to the next lap, and the next right-hander. And I quite like this corner as well, but I'm braking earlier than you, as you can see there.
So I take it back. I think, is this the right-handed I'm talking about? Do I roll through this one as well?
Let's have a look. Accelerate.
Yeah, this is the one I was actually talking about, not that last one. This one I rolled through.
There's a gap from there to there where you've got neither.
Yeah, so it wasn't that last one, it was this one. This one I try and get off the brake and then just roll through it.
And let's see what I'm doing. So that's my accelerator off. My brake.
Not much difference again between us.
But there's a little tiny bit of roll. My roll is that tiny bit, whereas your roll is from there to there. My roll is minuscule. So yeah, there's a little bit of time loss there. minimum corner speed for you is 114.5, I think, and for me is 105.8. So there's about 9 mile an hour or 9 kilometers an hour difference. Okay.
It's little bits everywhere, isn't it? Mainly on the braking, I think.
Yeah. And that's it, exactly. I think my braking is my weak spot at the moment. So this corner here, I love this corner. This bit here is my favourite bit of the track, where you come down here, you hit the outside curb, come onto the inside curb, hit the outside curb again, and then there's a left hand, before this turn, there's like a left hand curb, and I kind of aim for that to brake straight, smash it down from 5th to 3rd, and kind of coast around this corner in 3rd.
So I don't like this corner, but it is this stretch here is one of the most important parts on the track, just because of the speed you then carry through Sunset.
Well, let's see if I did any better than you, because I like this part of the track. But my variance is going up quite a long way, so I'm obviously not doing something as well as you are.
Little less steering input from me again.
Right, what's this brake? Is this the braking zone? Yeah.
About the same time on the brakes, but I'm off the accelerator a bit later.
Yeah, that's interesting. The brake's more or less identical. You're not 100% though. You're like, what are you at? 93%. Interesting. Whereas I'm on 100% rolling off. Rolling off
And I
more or less
hold,
the same point.
hold it a bit longer than you, but a higher percentage.
No, I'm the black line.
Yeah, but if you follow it down, then you dip below me a
Oh,
bit. So I just hold it a little bit longer to keep that turn going.
Agreed.
It's funny, it's marginal differences, isn't it?
But that speed at that point there, 142 for you, 138 for me. Going into it, 234 versus 232.
Yeah, and then I hold that advantage all the way through that section. Those 2 or 3 miles an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that.
So I think the first part to focus on, it seems to me, Simon, is just figuring out you can, just get that break in a little bit later and modulate it.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. I think we've already.
I think McLovin's asleep.
We can come back to it later, can't we? So let's just quickly do sunset.
Who's asleep? I wasn't listening and just heard the word asleep.
The tester.
Yeah, look at this minimum corner speed there. I'm going down to 106. Your minimum. It's 122. That's a massive difference.
Yeah, I carry that all the way then down the start-finish straight. So yeah, and as I say, there's easy places I think there for you to focus your energy on. There's 2 or 4 corners.
Yeah. Well, I think we've done enough analysing for the day.
I do as well. So it is interesting though how little differences make over the lap quite a big difference.
guys got anything more you want to discuss, or are you happy with how things have gone?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
No, I'm happy. I mean, I wasn't listening for most of that, but yeah, I'm happy.
Maybe we should maybe compare yours, McLovin, but I think that's
My Sebring.
yeah. I mean, I've learnt a lot from that, and I'm sure in the same way. I bet if we put, well, in fact, you're keeping up with Rally, but Rally's normally the gold standard that we all kind of refer to as being right. Let's have a look at his data.
I think I just had a better setup than him at the last race in the Apex, if I'm honest with you, because he was faster over a lap than me for sure. And it's funny, like at the start when they had that incident, and then he was behind me, and then I let him pass because I thought I didn't want to let the guy in front get away because he was pulling a little bit away from me. I thought that let Rally kind of chase him down.
Yeah.
And then his setup just struggled, so I kept up with him, and then eventually he let me back past. So I think that was just all set up. He was definitely faster.
Okay. Well,
but me and McLovin are pretty evenly balanced, it seems, on a lot of these tracks. So we're definitely going to do a comparison at Long Beach like that. I think McLovin, so I can find out where you're eating my lunch at the moment.
yeah. I mean, I think I've got if I can work on my braking, I think I'll be pretty close to you guys. It's just I think that braking's letting me down.
You guys have got to join me in the 118s. The 118 club.
Oh, you bastard. I was so close so many times as well.
You were ridiculously close.
I had about 4 laps in a row where I thought, okay, here we go. Nope.
Right.